North America will be very special, I think, because it will be the place where I will run my first 100 miler. And not just a 100 miler, Western States as a 100 miler. To go to North America at this moment, it's only possible of doing some kind of quarantine. So that's how we decided to go back to Costa Rica.
Costa Rica és un lloc on ens sentim com a casa i és un lloc on ens hi sentim molt bé i tenim molts amics.
Once we saw we had this opportunity now, we didn't doubt about it.
Costa Rica és especial per mi, per la gent. Hem fet unes amistats molt grans, el Gavi, el Julio, i bueno, és una família admirable, que tenen un cor molt gran i estem moltíssim de gust amb ells.
We made a stop because we wanted to climb Chirripó, which is the highest mountain of Costa Rica. It's a mountain of 3,820 meters high, and this is my fourth visit to Costa Rica, and I'd never climbed Chirripó.
És una pujada llarga, són 20 quilòmetres fins a dalt al cim, amb 2.400 positius, i vam agafar un bon ritme.
As you start, you're in the rainforest, it was very muddy, then we came to another part, there were some smaller trees. But it was very beautiful, we could feel the altitude, it was not so high but still noticeable. Got there, enjoyed being there.
Lo más bonito del Chirripó, las vistas.
And then we went down back to Anna and Vero, who had looked after Anna and the dogs.
Però tot i així és un cim molt maco. Crec que hi haurem de tornar a pujar per veure les vistes des del cim, perquè ens van dir que es veia el Pacífic. ¿Cómo estamos?
Will it be the same as last time? Because we have such great memories from last year.
Tornar aquí a Playa Dulce ha sigut algo molt bonic, però alhora ha sigut dur.
When we are here, we just disconnect, leave our mobiles in our bag, and we can just enjoy where we are, the here and now. Compared to our normal world, we have a lot more time, to enjoy the present. Les coses que m'han agradat més aquí han sigut pescar
he tornat a poder pescar. El primer dia va ser un dia molt dolent, no vaig poder pescar res. Suposo que pels nervis, tant temps de no pescar. I bueno, el segon, tercer, quart dia he disfrutat molt, he pescat cada dia, hem pogut menjar un altre cop peixos d'aquí a la costa, per tant... S'han banyat, el Bru ha nedat molt per la platja perquè li agrada molt agafar els troncs, per lo que crec que han disfrutat molt i sempre que estan amb nosaltres és quan estan més feliços. També hem pogut veure el Don Agustín, que feia molt temps que no el vèiem, ens ha tractat molt bé, fins i tot un dia vam fer una truita de patates i vam sopar junts aquí a casa.
We collected Crystal at her home, just at the beach next door. And I just felt full of joy because I could see the children were so happy and they were ready to play all day.
Estem agafant granotes i ens embrutem amb fang i ens posem com uns monstres.
Bueno, entrenar aquí crec que et fica molt fort, perquè potser fer 5 quilòmetres és com fer-ne 10 a Catalunya. La humitat pesa molt, els entrenos es fan més durs, entrenos que a casa el faries molt suau, aquí costa. I bueno, crec que això ens donarà un patiment extra de cara a les següents curses.
The regulations with COVID are changing, and actually Costa Rica was getting worse, and we were afraid that it was going to be on the red list, and then we wouldn't have been able to fly into the US from there. And we went there precisely to do the quarantine and to be able to fly into the US. But everything went well, so when we got there it was like, wow, we did it, we are gonna go on a road trip now.
Welcome to America, you're in my heart where I'm in Rome. Welcome to America, it's been...
We had to drive from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. In Las Vegas we were going to get the RV. Yeah, there were some complications with the deposit, so it took a couple of hours to get it all sorted. But in the end, in the afternoon, we had it all organized.
Just després de recollir la Ona a l'hotel, vam mirar quines opcions hi havia i molt a prop hi havia el Red Rock Canyon, que estava a res, potser a 25 minuts de Las Vegas, i vam decidir anar a fer una excursió per allà i com teníem un entrenament, descobrir una miqueta aquesta zona i fer el primer contacte amb la muntanya dels Estats Units.
We've been following our training sessions pretty well because I'm preparing Western States, Pere has some goals coming up, so it's been important to us to train well. And so we find this tiny little place with a few houses only, and we couldn't actually find the starting point of the trail. So we asked two very friendly ladies where it was, and they showed us the way. It was dark already, but they drove in front of our RV all the way. Yeah, we settled, had a good night's rest. They were so friendly that we went back the next day to say hi to them. And Anna had a little ride on their horse, on one of their horses. And actually I also had a little ride too, which was fun, on a Western saddle. And then we went into the real Zion mountain. We were attracted to the Kinosaba mountain. We knew it was going to be like quite a remote place to go and quite a non-tourist attraction. We trained separately. First it was my turn to climb the mountain. Quite difficult because we didn't have a proper track. So I tried to just follow the track more or less without focusing too much on being exactly on it, and made my way to the top. Top of Kinosaba mountain! Yeah, a solemn place, like quite wild. Then it was Pere's turn to do.
Bueno, anaves aproximant a la roca, i un cop estaves sota la roca pensaves, hòstia, ara per on pujo, perquè era tot roca i a poc tenies que anar descobrint tu el camí per pujar i bueno, tenia que anar escalant, grimpant una miqueta i al final arribaves a dalt i les vistes eren impressionants. Em vaig quedar un rato a dalt, també vaig firmar el llibret, vaig ficar el nom de Rolling Mountains i de tots nosaltres i després ràpid cap avall perquè se'm havia acabat l'aigua i el menjar per lo que tenia molta set i ja ràpid cap al cotxe que la Rània ens esperava i la Ona. Què passa? Ui!
Colorado River!
Colorado River!
Un cop a dalt al Horseshoe i veure la immensitat del riu, vam buscar la manera de baixar-hi a fer-hi una activitat. Vam veure que es podia baixar i a part es podia anar amb caiac, per lo que seria una manera excel·lent de poder integrar-nos a la brutalitat de la natura. Baixar pel riu Colorado va ser una gran aventura, la Ona en tenia moltes ganes, però alhora respecte per la força de l'aigua i per estar envoltat de parets de més de 400 metres que et feien sentir super insignificant. Per la tranquil·litat que veies viure els animals, per el silenci i la pau que s'hi sentia allà al mig i per les pintades rupestres, semblava que t'haguessin transportat al passat.
En definitiva va ser una experiència en família que crec que recordarem sempre.
I think it was part of our dream to be kayaking on a big river in the States, so it really felt like accomplishing one of our dreams here. We drove all morning without having trains.
Who was the guy that you talked to name-wise?
I don't know, I didn't ask for his name.
Okay, because what's happening is you guys are trespassing. This is a sacred mountain to the tribal members.
We had no idea.
What are you training for? A big event?
Yeah, 100-mile run.
You have any kind of permit?
If you're not from this tribe, then you are not allowed.
Okay,
Cool.
so no, without their permission, we would definitely not go up.
It'd probably be safer, you know, like I say, with the bears up there.
We definitely didn't want to to make any problem or harm. So the first real mountains we saw were the mountains of the Sleeping Mountain. But then finally they decided we were not going to be able to run on their beautiful mountain. So we went back down and drove a little bit further on. Now we were in Mesa Verde, which was quite a tourist place, quite a special place because of all the little stone houses.
Aquí vivien unes tribus feia uns 800 anys i era espectacular veure com vivia aquella gent i les construccions que tenien fetes a les balmes. I la manera de viure i com accedir a aquelles balmes. Tenien que construir escales per poder-hi baixar, devia ser gent molt atlètica. I van deixar-hi de viure perquè van tindre una sequera molt llarga i se'ls va començar a morir la ramaderia que tenien, no tenien per menjar i van tindre que marxar.
És pipi! Dona tu!
And we also had the training sessions we were looking for. For me, it's really important to have the training conditions I need to prepare my race. It's going to be a big race because it's my first 100-miler. I was talking to my sister. Suddenly, when I was speaking about Western States, I started to cry and I realized how important it is for me to race and to be prepared for the race, and how, it's a real big challenge for me to travel, train, be with the family, but I also really don't want to miss out on my training, and I really want to be in a good shape, and I really hope to be able to run a very good race.
Look me in the eye and tell me it was all a lie. Said you needed me to know that you never let it go, but now you're gone. I don't know how. I guess it's nothing to you now. If it wasn't worth the pain, I wish I never heard your name.
Per mi Colorado ha sigut la part que m'està agradant més d'Estats Units, potser per l'alçada, per la vegetació, perquè hi ha rius, perquè hi ha aigua.
Pere is a very competitive person. He didn't just want to finish his challenge and do it well. No, he wanted to do it the best way he could.
La sortida és de Silverton, agafo una pista de 8 quilòmetres, això suposo serà un terreny molt fàcil, guanyo només 400 metres de desnivell.
Aquí comença lo desconegut, agafo un camí que he vist en mapa, no sé si em trobaré neu, crec que no molta perquè passaré fins als 3.700 metres només. Llavors una baixadeta fins a 3.400 per un caminet i després ve una altra pujada fins a 3.900 per arribar a les muntanyes del Red Mountain.
Queda poc.
I aquí ve el punt fort, els dos punts forts de la ruta. De 3.500 pujaré al primer pic, a 4.100 metres, al pic Telluride, per després fer una llarga baixada fins als 3.100 metres, baixant 1.000 metres de desnivell.
Molt difícil.
I ara sí que ve el tros més dur de la ruta, que puja de 3.100 metres fins als 4.315 del cim Sniffles.
Bueno, veig l'autocaravana, hi ha l'arranc ni amb la ona.
I després hi ha baixada fins a Ouray, que serà una llarga baixada d'uns 20 quilòmetres.
Oh, look at this beautiful flower. And maybe I can put it here. Oh, are the mitch ones? I'm going to put it together. We do a big challenge
It also had to be like a tough challenge.
and it was super, super long.
I wanted it to be a good challenge for Anna.
I'm very thirsty. I want water and I'm running water. We went all the way up to Snowwell Peak.
It was a climb of over 500 meters in altitude and it was on technical terrain.
There were rocks and I climbed some rocks and we played and I slaved for the snow.
And then we got to a steeper part. That's where the heat set in. Anna became a little tired, so she sat down sometimes and said, "I'm tired." Yeah, I think we're lucky with Anna. She knows when she really has to just go with the flow and behave well. And at other moments, she can claim a little bit more time for herself. So she knows, yeah, what her place is in the family.
Ja arribem, Ja veig el cim.
When we get to the top, we get rocks and we play and we eat.
And we just had to climb and scramble up the last rocks. And then we were there. And for me, it was quite an emotional moment.
It was a lot of fun to go with Boo and Lily.
This is our celebration.
And the snow sometimes was super soft and we gone down into all of us legs.
Yeah, the fact that she did this, it really impressed me. She can really do things and push herself if she wants to.
We got in the car and then I was not tired. And I went to go fishing.
yesterday. Got nothing new to talk about, got nothing new to say anyway. I fell in love with a girl downtown, then she walked away. That heart of coal, the sticks and stones, they put me here today. Hooray. Gonna leave for a while, walk out the door, forget my troubles and move to Memphis, maybe change my name. But since you left me crying at your door, I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same.
North America, for me, I've very much been like an athlete.
Yeah.
I've focused maybe a little bit less on being a mother and being a traveler. In this continent, this part of me, what is who I am, has come out a lot. My goal is to run a consistent race, to enjoy, keep on going, don't get distracted until the finish line.
We've got a mighty field of women runners this year. Emily Hawgood, Katie Asmuth, Audrey Tingy, Camille Herron, Keely Henninger, Ragna DeBats, Ruth Croft, Bev Pascal, and Claire Gallagher.
It will be nice to compare myself in this year with other very, very strong women. The Merrill team had come to help me, and then I also had another crew team with Michael and Rian. This is the salt. I should put it in my mouth, I will squeeze. Okay. I felt fortunate to have them here because having a good crew at Western States is really important. Yeah, I felt ready to go. I felt confident. I felt I'd done all the preparations, and I felt I had a great support team. So I could have a good day, and let's get started and see how it goes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, Ultra fans worldwide. We are live. It is Western States 100 Day. Welcome to the 2021 Western States 100.
She's looking good.
Running a 100 miler has been one of my goals since a long time. I feel very happy to finally have this opportunity to fulfill this dream.
And then we've got images coming through from Beth Pascal.
Here's Ragna DeBats.
She's moved into second place.
Yeah, so she is only 5 minutes back of race leader Beth Pascal.
So they're both under
course record pace.
Exactly.
So we started running at 5 o'clock, and at about 8 o'clock it was really, really warm already.
As I've said a couple of times, that climb from Duncan Canyon to Robinson Flat is the place where the race starts to break apart. They still have 62 miles to make it to the finish line. There's a lot that could still happen.
It looks like Ragna is running slightly faster over the previous section than Beth Pascal by about 10 seconds per mile. So who knows, Ragna might be taking a little time out of Beth.
Yep.
He is definitely taking a toll on people today.
Very good.
Here, even though Forest Hill is such a landmark, such a thing that all these athletes look forward to, everybody says this is where the race starts, and they still have 38 miles to go.
Energy boost.
This is like a true pit crew at the Indy 500.
Then we've got Brittany Peterson and Ruth Croft.
And Iron Farr says, wow, these two look the best so far.
Right, you literally just get by.
That's where I had, I think, my biggest dip. Mentally, I had thought that it would be cooler at that point of the race, and it wasn't the case.
This is absolute drama.
At that time, Pere came in, which was very fortunate because he motivated me to eat, drink, to try to recover physically and mentally. And then I told Pere, you have to think about Ruth. What do you know about her?
The official split for Ragna, Ruth, and Katie was only 90 seconds. That is so exciting to have 2, 3, and 4 this close together.
So it's going to be amazing. Any one of these four could still win the race.
Number 13, Ruth Croft.
A really important break in the women's race is that Ruth Croft has moved into second.
Oops, sorry.
They were separated by 1 minute.
She had a good strategy because she passed me really fast, impressed me, and I kind of looked at this as an impossible thing to recover my second place again. So I decided just to give it my all and finish the race as strong as I could. I was very lucky to have Pere with me because he, well, being my partner and being able to run together with your partner is something really special.
Que la Ragna encarava els últims 40 metres de cursa, aixecant els braços, veient la ona, parant-la amb un ram de flors, va ser un moment màgic i irrepetible.
First time ever in Western States history, we had 3 women in the top 10. Ragna Navas, our new Masters record holder, in 17:21.
Per mi aquest continent d'Estats Units ha sigut diferent als altres. El haver llogat una autocaravana ha sigut una manera d'estar la família més unida, de no conèixer potser tanta gent, perquè no t'obres tant a anar a conèixer gent, sinó que busques tu la teva ruta i al tindre ja el teu espai potser no coneixes tanta gent, però alhora ha sigut molt bonic estar amb l'autocaravana tots junts, compartint un espai molt petit durant un mes. Sí que ja estem acostumats a Europa de fer-ho amb la furgoneta, però aquí a llocs nous ha sigut algo màgic.
I think this continent was the most sport-focused continent, and yeah, this is really the challenge we created by creating Rolling Mountains. It's all about new experiences, learning things for Anna, discovering. It's been really nice to experience this together. I think it's something which makes the bond between us stronger.
Encara ens queden 2 continents per fer, l'Antàrtida i Oceania. Veient com està evolucionant tot aquí als Estats Units, creiem que en breu podrem viatjar-hi. Tenim moltes ganes de tancar aquest cicle, d'acabar Rolling Mountain i d'acabar de disfrutar d'aquests 2 continents que segur que ens portaran noves sorpreses i nova gent.